There we go. Is there sound now? What's going on? What's going on, people? Is there sound now? Let me know if there isn't. Maybe one of these doggone Bluetooth is connected. Sometimes I got so many doggone devices connected to this phone. What's up, people? Yeah, man. I figure I go live. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make any video, long form video or edit for a minute. At least not in the future. Busy, man. So just so you know, I am gonna make a long form video, right? But you know, if you've been watching this channel for a while, man, you know that I don't run many miles. I really don't. This week though, we're gonna end up running around 3,400 miles. So if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know 3,400 is probably a lot of miles for me, you know, and I'm tired, man. A lot of miles for me. That's way too many miles. So yeah, but anyway, so I do wanna I'm headed to actually, yes, I actually wanted to make a video about that, right? So what happened with that military load, right, is quite a good rate for that. I mean, I would do that any day, right? Now, here's what happened, right? You know how they always change their mind. They wasn't ready, the load wasn't ready, or they were not ready to load and things like that. Well, at the end of it all, they did end up canceling that load. Now, broker was like, good broker, man. That's a good broker. That's a really good broker. Because he was like, man, listen, since I wasted all your time going back and forth, you know what I mean? Sending you a new rate con, this and that. He said he's $500 for a tonneau. Mind you, I did not move the truck or the trailer, not one bit, not even an inch to go, you know, pick up this load. Not one bit. So that's a really good broker, man. And he told me, he asked me if I hang around the Vegas a lot. I was like, yes, man, I do. And then I was like, man, call me whenever. Just call me. And yeah, that's a good tonal, man. And then he was like, yeah, and I'll keep you in mind, you know. So he said he gets a lot of load coming out of Nellis. As a matter of fact, he called me again last week. However, y'all know me, I'm a very honest guy, right? I'm an honest person, man. And I was already booked on the load. I'm not gonna cancel the other guy just so, you know what I mean, I can get with this guy, you know. But he understood. He said, man, listen, I told him, listen, man, the truck is already booked, man. I apologize. I appreciate you for calling me, but I apologize, you know. It's just, I can't, you know what I mean, I can't cancel on this guy and go to you, you know what I mean. And he said, man, I get it. So yeah, $500 for a tonneau, right? And the truck never moved, man. And it wasn't even looking good at all in the Vegas area, you know what I mean. It's not like I had so many options to pick from, you know what I'm saying. So it's been good, man. Trucking has been good. It's been really good this week, you know. So I started trucking Wednesday evening, went to Idaho. From Idaho, picked up another military container, right? As a matter of fact, that's what I have now. I'm gonna show it to you guys. I think if you saw my post, you'll know. There it is. It's just one container. All right. And then something else behind it. As a matter of fact, I gotta go check my securement. Oh, I did wash the truck. Look at that. Look how clean she is, man. Anyway, I have been running. Been running a lot. It's definitely been a while. As a matter of fact, Man, looks like there's something leaking out of this thing. Oh yeah, hydraulic line is leaking right there. Anyway, um, I don't remember the last time I ran this hard. As a matter of fact, I say the only time I ran this many miles in a week was when I was driving for David. You know, I think there was a couple of times I hit like 4K in the miles. You know, but in my as an owner operator, I have never ran this hard. That's a lot of miles. I know it's not a lot for people, for other people, but for me, it's a lot of miles, man. Even when I was out in the whatchamacallit, in the Midwest, right, in 2024 for the whole year, I'd say I think 2,600 was the most miles I've ran in a week over there, and that was a good week. So 3,400 miles for me. It's also a damn good week. All right. Okay. Look at this. Have you guys ever hauled these before? I've hauled them before, but not the Sky whatever, right? But anyway, the thing on it is this part right here. I can't, you see how I have the doggone strap right here? Because if I put it right here, that thing is too soft. That's why I put it up here. I also put that chain over there, but I put the chain on there first, and then I started shaking this, and it shook too much, so that's why I put this. Yeah, that load is an easy load. That military load, I wasn't gonna get that military load, but like I said, there wasn't nothing going on, right? Absolutely nothing. It was pretty dead. I'd say from open deck, okay? From Salt Lake to Las Vegas, all the way around. It was pretty dead. And I was like, I saw a load, right? They was paying $4 a mile. Normally, I would never go to Idaho for that, because that's too low. Because the odds of you getting anything out of there is very low. But you have to understand, Salt Lake market is changing, man. Salt Lake market is acting a little funny in a good way. So anyway, that's why I took the chance. So I made 600 miles, 2,200, right? Almost $4 a mile, yeah. To Idaho. I unloaded that load, found that military load. I wasn't gonna get it, but I was like, it's all right. So I took it because I know I can add this on there. So now we're going from Idaho all the way to Tucson for $3 a mile. Okay? I think that's pretty damn good. So, and in between that, we were doing a lot of Amazon, man. Oh, here you go. The batteries. See, that's what not gonna break or split the thing in half. Right there, it's 3-axle. I heard those are good rates. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I've been running around Amazon, right? In between, you know. So this military load has been on my deck for a while. Also, I wanna address the hey, listen, if you're watching this channel, right, and when you catch this live later on, if you do, right, I want you, if you watch the channel, I know that you're trying to find a way to make it better as far as rate wise, right? How you operate and things like that, right? Or maybe you're getting to that point, you know. I'm not saying this channel is perfect, far from it, you know. So when I made that video, right? A video about what you call it, trucking in 7 seas, right? So this one guy, what's his name? I can't remember his name, but he's commenting, right? He comments like, I had no idea. I have no idea how his operations are. You know, yeah, 100%. I agree 100%. That's why I said in the beginning, it's nothing against him. It's nothing derogatory against him. It's nothing like I'm condescending him or condescending against him. I don't think it was. You know, I think he's a really good guy. I think he's really smart man, and I think he can do way better because we have the same exact tool. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm using a Makita and he's using freaking DeWalt. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like Makita. But anyway, it's just that my point is that he can do so much better. He really could. And the reason why I made the video, because I'm in the same shoe. Amazon, you know, there's no future in the way he was doing it. Now, when you hear the next Amazon I've done, you'll be like, what the heck, man? And do I have special access? I don't. I absolutely don't. I have zero specialty with Amazon. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what the heck? You know what I mean? See, that's my point. Is that I think what it amounts to, right? It's some people get pressured, man. Some people get pressured and they succumb to that pressure. They're saying that, oh man, I gotta do something. Oh man, I think I can just go ahead and take this load for now. You know what I mean? I gotta do something, right? But it amazes me that, you know, yeah. And I've been talking to Parker the whole week. You know, Amazon was crazy this week. You know, but that's the thing. I made a post, right? That bad weather brings really good doggone rates with Amazon. And you have to expect those. You have to keep that in the back of your head and thinking like, when the bad weather comes around in the area, know that the fucking rates, excuse my language, are gonna be fucking good. You know what I mean? So it's just that's just the bottom line, you know. And that's why that guy, you know, I don't know, like I think his name is Tim, right? The trucking 7Cs guy. So yeah, he's very informative and things like that, and I appreciate him for that. You know what I mean? These are real numbers. These are real raw numbers that he's putting out. But you don't have to run like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to run like that at all. You know, and if you find yourself running like that, you better fucking shut that shit down. Pardon my language, man. I'm getting worked up. You better shut that shit down or go find you a different fucking outfit. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Because the numbers don't freaking add up, man. And when and that guy was commenting, is like, well, he's only doing it temporarily. He had nothing to do, and he's taking a break from. I don't give a damn if you're taking a break, man. Listen, you have to think when you pick rates. When you book loads for the rates, you have to think long term. It doesn't matter. Short term, you're doing it short term, it doesn't matter. You gotta think long term every time. Right there. My goodness, I just seen a step deck right there with a freaking broken frame. That's what I mean. And this is another thing that I want to get into. So when I was going on my way to Salt Lake, that freaking step deck, the one of the beam, the right beam, is sitting like this. Anyway, so another thing I want to get into is that let me see, hold on. That's true, because running that way, messing with others and yourself. Exactly. But anyway, so I'm in Salt Lake, right? I was in Salt Lake and I pulled into the truck stop, you know. Mind you, that load was paying almost $7 a mile. But anyway, okay. So I was in Salt Lake. I pulled into the truck stop, right? So just to take a break. And I saw somebody else in there. They had their they got locked out, right? And this man, it looked like, you know, I tried to talk to him, you know what I mean? And I tried to help him out because he locked himself out. It was his dog. His dog freaking accidentally pressed the lock button, right? And then it locked himself out. So he's trying to get in there. I was like, okay, let me try to help him out. So he was in there trying to figure it out. What you got to realize is, the Kenworth, right? These T680, they have double seals on them, so you can't just pry it open and then put like maybe a coat hanger through and things like that, right? um it's just, so he was trying to do that. He was trying to pry it over. I was like, man, listen, you're gonna create more problems than what you actually have right now, what you already have. And I told him, why don't you just call a locksmith or something? He can pop that up for you and then really quickly unlock it. And he didn't want to do that. And he was like, man, I just had to deal with running out of fuel, right? And now I gotta deal with this crap. I was like, man, I don't think you want to do that. I was trying to tell him, I don't think you want to pry that open and break your doggone door. Not in this cold. um, anyway, here you go. He says, I do Amazon. I make a week during 5. That's not bad. How many miles are you running that? Okay, that's a good way, man. Those numbers I could agree with. You know what I'm saying? But his numbers, it just like, as soon as I saw him, right, saying that he took that load, I took a dollar 25. Man, listen, he is under pressure, man. He's under pressure to, do this and do that and come back right away. That's no, man. You don't. I don't know how else to say it, man. Really, uh, I think he's under pressure. I think he's falling into that pressure, because like I said, he's a really smart man. I think he's a smart man, and I think he if he really puts his craft into it, you know what I mean? I think he can do a lot better, you know. Just like, you know what I'm saying? Just like I mean, coming J.O. Well, right? Welt. I mean, you know what I mean? Grossing, what was it? He grossed, oh, here you go. I run 5 to 9. Oh, no. But anyway, he was grossing two to 300 miles a day and grossing, what was his gross? There you go, 36 to 4,500 a week during 5 to 6 days. I think that's not bad. And he's probably running spot market. Yes, overworking your equipment for low rates. Absolutely, 100%, man. Yeah. Okay, there you go. And he's working spot. That's what I mean. I don't understand it, man. I really don't understand. That's why I have so many questions. You know what I'm saying? And for some reason, like I said, like this one guy is taking offense to what I have said. I was talking about in that video. All I'm saying is, like, please do not operate like that. If you're gonna operate short ones, you know what I mean, short miles, you gotta think in terms of hourly rate or day rate. You know what I mean? So, prime example, it goes one, come up, right? I had, remember, you guys remember, like September, November, October, something like that. I had a couple of 1 week of getting paid $1,000 a day for a day rate from these guys that are doing an event over there in Las Vegas, right? Okay, good, man. I'm guessing they have good freight, right? So I was like, okay, yeah, man, you can call me anytime, right? Because that's a pretty decent rate, $1,000 a day. You know, working about 8 hours, that's a pretty good rate. Okay. Anyway, so I told him, call me back whenever, man. So he calls me several times now. First time he said, hey, man, I got 6 trailers that needs to move from the convention center in Las Vegas to his yard, right? And then come back and pick it up and come back, pick it up. So basically, I got to come back 12 times, right? And I said, okay, so that's probably going to be a little bit more than a day. I was telling him, right? I mean, depending on how fast they move those trailers over there. He said you might have to wait a little bit. I said, okay, so let's do it again, 1,000. And then if we got something left over, and then we can talk about that later for the next day, right? He said, man, I only got 600. I said, you know what, man? I can't do that. There's no shot I could do that, right? So anyway, he's like, okay, no worries, man. I'm just happy that I'm able to call you and talk about it. You know, and I'm talk about it. So next time he calls me again, same thing, man. He says, hey, man, I got 4 trailers that need to be moved, but you might have to go get one that is loaded, take it to my yard, and then get my guy to empty it, and then you might have to go back and go get another loaded while he's emptying that trailer, and then you'll have to take all of those trailers back. I said, okay, no problems. So a day rate? He said, no, I only got 500 on it. I said, what the hell, man? What do you want? uh, man, it's crazy. So I was like, you know what, man, I can't do that, man. He said, okay, I'm glad I had the option, to just call you. Basically, what I'm getting at, this guy is looking for cheap labor. That's what he's doing, and he's not gonna find it through me. Okay. One more time, he calls me. He said, I got a container that needs to go to San Francisco. I told him, listen, I don't like going down that way, but if you have to use me, if it must be me, let's do it. $3,200. He said, whoa, I can't touch that. He said, I only got 2,000 in it. I said, nah, I can't do it, man. So he hits me up again 3 days later. He said, man, how about 24, man? I need this thing moved over there. I said, man, listen, I can't do it, man. 3,200, I'll take it to San Francisco for you. He said, and they never talked to me again. So I think I do believe let me see. Apple cards, okay, empty cards, they weigh a lot. Yes, they do. The empty cards weigh a lot. I would probably lease on owner operators in the future, man. You know, I mean, but the only thing that I think that is the only reason why if you guys remember correctly, I was talking about the insurance, right? One of the main reasons why I think it's not going to be competitive for me to lease on owner operators is because my insurance is so high. You know what I mean? I was, like I said, I was hoping that it would go down within like close to 1,000 range. Maybe 1,200. Then you could definitely probably attract other owner operators. If somebody wants to lease on, even with the information that hey, my insurance is this high, and they want to lease on, and I think if they're a good fit, why not? You know what I mean? I'll bring them on. I know, man. I know, Young Trucking. Really, I don't know. I'm telling you, there has to be. Like I said, my impression of him, right? That he is a smart man. He really is. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're meant to, be able to think on your toes quickly, right? But I think he is smart enough to think that, hey, wait a minute, I shouldn't be running like this, I mean, even the guy was like, yeah, he's only doing it temporarily, and like I said, he's defending him, right? Like I wasn't even like, I didn't think I was harsh. You know what I mean? I seriously want to help him. If he needs help, right? If he wants help. So that's my intention of the video. But my main intention of the video is that what he's doing. Please, if you watch the channel, do not do what he does. You know what I'm saying? That's you know what I mean? It doesn't matter, like I see people talk about all the time. It's like, oh man, or the broker, right? Broker calls me one time. I think it was a TQL broker. Well, he's getting paid. He's paying $6 a mile. I said, yeah, he's only going 50 miles. He said, yeah, but it's paying $6 a mile. I said, yeah, but it's only going 50 miles. So, you know what I mean? It's like, you gotta value your time. You know what I mean? You gotta start calculating your time in the way, the way you look at things, right? So, yeah, this dude is going backwards. You seen my friend food truck? I thought you said you were gonna try to find out, see Pop Tart. I thought you was gonna try to find out, see if they're operating yet. I have not tried it, even tried remotely. Get you on my insurance. We are, yeah, Parker. I wish I could get $900, man. I think he's waiting to go to Landstar. He was in Landstar, right? And I remember him being with Landstar. I don't watch him religiously, right? But when I did watch him, every time it was like, his numbers, are sad, to be honest. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's like, I wanna, you know what I mean? Maybe I don't know what he's doing, really. When you look on the load board, like I said, we have the same tools. He's using the same tools as I am that we have available at our own disposal. It's just I don't understand why he's running like that. Like I said, I think what it is he's succumbing to the pressure. You know what I mean? And because like I used to, even back then when I was over there in the Midwest, I was feeling that same pressure. It's like, man, I got to make something out of the day. But you guys know I would never. The lowest rate I have ever taken on a full truckload is last month, which was like $1.90. You know what I mean, on a step deck, right? And I think the one that was made me even more sadder was last time I was trying to get out of Idaho, right? I did an oversized. It was 2024, yeah. It was an oversized. I came into Idaho with an oversized. I was paying like $6 a mile, and then trying to come out of Idaho to go back west or east. I took a load going into South Carolina. If you guys remember, it was like a little, that small truck, right? I think it was like a cleaner truck, right, for cleaning stuff, right, cleaning houses or whatever, right? Anyway, and that load paid like $1.40 a mile, but it's partial. You know what I mean? So I took that. I thought that was good enough today, to be able to pick up something along the way. That was the thinking on that, But anything else, I don't participate on that full load crap. And like right now, I'm getting ready to drop all of these off, right? The loads that I have coming from, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be empty in Tucson, Arizona. Now, I'm seeing loads coming out of Phoenix, going into Salt Lake for $2.30, $2.40 a mile. Am I gonna take those? Absolutely freaking not. Because I know how Salt Lake could be in terms of open deck. Why? You know what I mean? Why would I take that rate to go up there like that? Because the chances of me coming back deadhead is very high. Well, I'll just go home and sit at home and wait on another, good rate coming up. That's, I don't know. That's and the guy that was defending him, right? He was like, so you wouldn't take $1.25, instead you'll bobtail. Absolute freakingly, I would bobtail. Get the freak out of the area, come back home. Not stressing and being at home is a lot better than taking $1.25. I can guarantee you that. So yeah, I saw another trucker asking for the 7Cs guys to get. It's cool. No, it's like it's nothing. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's nothing offensive. I think he can do a lot better. I think he's a really smart man. I really do think that. Most people confuse the definition of help, which most times is purely verbal, with do it for me for free. Yeah, probably true. As a matter of fact, that guy that I was helping in Salt Lake, that's what he was kind of trying to tell me. You know what I mean? Can you figure it out for me how to get in my truck? I wanted to help him. As a matter of fact, I gave him some tools I left to him. Not like tools, but I left him that maybe he can figure it out. But I had to go. I had an Amazon load. And you know what I mean? You guys know, like, time frame with Amazon has to be on point, So anyway, yeah. If I was doing power only or dry van, if I had a dry van, I would be deadheading all the time into the Los Angeles area, you know what I mean? So the SoCal, and sometimes there are loads, dry van loads coming out of Las Vegas going to SoCal, but that's what I would be doing all the time, because freaking hey, man, the van rates coming out of SoCal is so good. I don't understand it. I really don't. So, yeah. I think he's doing these runs because he wants his family in Oregon and Las Vegas, even though he's running at a loss. He's probably having fun in Vegas with family. Okay, I can understand that. I really can. But he doesn't. Why run at a loss? You know what I'm saying? Why not just park it? That's my point. That's like, just park it. I mean, the way I see things, right? If I'm gonna lose money, I better lose money because I choose to lose money. If I'm gonna lose money, I better not be trying to make somebody make money while I'm losing money doing services for them. You see what I'm saying? You see, I don't understand that. I really don't. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, if you're just now coming in, right? I just want to hop in here and say, hey, I cannot. I ran so far this week. I will be at 3,400 miles total. Uh, by the time I get back to Vegas, I'll be around 3,400 miles. And if you know how I run, you know that's probably gonna be a pretty damn good week. So, yeah. Casino is up. Yeah, there you go. Right. At least you get a chance at the casino. The broker ain't never gonna give you no chance. What is the typical distance you haul loads with your step deck? I've been. It doesn't matter really if it pays really good. Now, if it has to go 2 days out, I don't take them. I've seen them, man. Oh my God, there was one going to Alabama. Ooh, that was that $4 a mile going to Alabama on the open deck, step deck from Southern California is really damn good, really damn good. But couldn't take it. I can't take it. I gotta watch my little one. You know what I mean? She can't handle the road. Not that distance. You know, I might be able to take her 300 miles. You know, out. You know, I think the most I've taken her was like 450 miles, and I can tell that she had a hard time. But maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe she'll grow onto it. You know? So, let me see. Woman come up missing since 2001. What does that mean, Pop Tart? Who came up missing? Let's see. Maybe it's up there somewhere. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if he, like I said, if he's trying to, you know what I mean, if he's trying to move somewhere and things like that or whatever, you know, van really, if he's trying to move to Las Vegas or Oregon, as a matter of fact, on the West Coast, anytime, anywhere in the West Coast, you want to have a freaking dry van, man. That's because that's the market here. You know what I'm saying? Like Southern California van rates is so good, man. It doesn't matter what time of the year. Freaking Southern California is so good, man. Just that's just the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? 2001 and ran off from her family and then found her today. Oh, wow. Still alive? Wow. Wow. That's crazy. 25 years later. They probably don't even remember their faces. So, anyway, I thought I'd just hop on here. You know what I mean? Like I said, he said, you know, I do mean well. I really do. I hope everybody sees it that way. You know, I really want the rates to be up, and I want people to, you know, start thinking, you know, stop thinking company driver. If you're a single owner operator and you operate your own numbers and you run these numbers, and you know how much work it takes, you know what I mean, to stay legal and run these numbers, you know, and for you to just, you know, be at a, you know, Western Express numbers. I apologize, man. he's gonna get me for that, but anyway, for extra Western Express numbers is, I think it's pretty bad, you know. West Coast dry van every time, man. West Coast dry van every time. If you just want general freight, every time dry van. You know, I would always go with that. You know, I don't know what reefer looks like. You know, I'm not in that space. You know what I'm saying? So I can't provide content or you know, advice on that. I have no idea. You know, but in terms of regular, you know, general freight, open deck or van, I'd say van every time, man. If you're hoping to, you know what I mean, get into like a little bit more specialized stuff, like, you know, such as like, you know, oversized or even like LTL type stuff, you know, I would say, yeah, maybe open deck, you know. Okay, I appreciate you, Parker. All right, man. Hey, take it easy over there, man. Watch out for that wind, brother. So yeah, anyway, um I think I just pop on here real quick because I'm not gonna be able to make a video for a couple more days. I don't think, doesn't look like it, but yeah, I'm gonna try to compile this whole week. This whole week has been crazy, man, in the one video. It's been it's been amazing. It's been great. I'm telling you. It's just like it's one of those things. Yeah, things fell into place at the right moment at the right time, and I was there. You know what I mean? I was there for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I mean, but like I said, it's not just luck, right? It's a matter of, you know what I mean, having the attitude to go get her, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. Go get her. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean you have to, you know what I'm saying, lower yourself to a standard to where, you're essentially working for free, which is crazy to me. You know, like 25 years later, wow. Wow. Yeah. Corn-fed Mississippi media. Is that what that is? Mississippi media. I would say in the West Coast, I would try to stay away from open deck as much as you can. I'm not gonna lie, it's tough. Open deck in the West Coast is real hard. It's tough market. It really is. In terms of the load board, okay. But van, I'd say you will have an easier time. And you'll get your feet wet, and I think you'll do better in doing running around and stuff. For reefer, AZ in California during produce season, easily nice. Yeah, there you go. So maybe you go get 2 trailers. I know I'm definitely gonna get a dry van trailer at least before the next season, right? The next busy season. So, but for now, March is coming in, and I'm ready for it. I'm telling you, capacity, it's different nowadays, man. Especially Amazon. My God, man. Especially Amazon. I'm seeing rates that I haven't seen in a long time, man. Like in loads that are staying there. You know what I mean? I mean, they stay there. That's insane to me. That tells me capacity is very scarce. When the loads are staying there at an okay, semi-okay rate, and they're staying there, that's a big good news to me. For me, at least the way I see it. Hey, what's going on, Tommy Ramirez? Can you imagine? Okay, let's see. Pop Tart said, "Can you imagine your wife disappear and you reported her missing?" Miss, yeah, that is crazy. That's some what you gonna call it, castaway type deal to me. They probably done moved on. You know what I mean? Mainstream media. Okay, I like that. So yeah, in terms of, man, I'm telling you that that you don't realize how bad something is until it's actually in the surface, right? So what I mean is uh the the non-domicile CDL, right? Listen, I don't care where you from. I don't even care, you know what I mean, how you see things, you know. And for some reason, people seem to think like, that everybody has a right to be here. No, you have to follow the proper procedure to be here, man. And I don't realize like how bad it is, that how bad it saturated the market, I should say, in terms of driver availability, capacity. And it's because like I can see the effect of that now. I believe that's what it is. That the reason why we're seeing brokers are having a hard time, covering loads, and also, are actually open to discussing rates nowadays, is because of this, right? Because they don't have a whole lot of people calling in on the same load, You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I know, I know it's been good, even though I'm talking crap about the open deck in the Las Vegas area, but it's just it. You know what I mean? The West Coast open deck is just not that great. You know, so excuse me. Right now I'm here in El Paso, at home with my family. Just got home Saturday morning. Nice, man. Hey, man, you're taking too long of a break, man. You better get back on the road, but wow, man. So anyway, I uh, I just like I said, I just want to hop in here, right? And I gotta get this thing delivered tomorrow. But both of them, at least, they're both go. The container is going to Air Force Base. That was one thing I was trying to get right. I normally bring the little one, right, when usually on Tuesdays there's nobody watching her. Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, nobody's around to watch her, and that's why I was trying to I was trying to see if I can bring her, but I felt like it was gonna be a much more of a headache than anything, trying to get her in the base, so I abandoned that, and I spoke to the broker, right? And then he was like, "Yeah, man, sure," And I explained to him the situation. He said, "Yeah, man, you can deliver it on Wednesday." And then it turns out one of my kids, right, the middle one, he doesn't have school on Tuesday, so I was like, "Okay, I guess I'm gonna deliver it today or tomorrow or Tuesday, tomorrow." So I just picked up the load in Reno, going to Spokane for 3,500 step deck load. Nice. Dang, that's a good load, man. 3,500 from Reno to step deck. Wow, what's that? Now it's gonna be tough trying to get out of there. Just deadhead out of there, man. Don't. Like, what? Oh, I wonder. There's somebody in Idaho, way past like, but it's gonna be. That's too tough of an area for you to be in this time of the year, man. Last time I picked up over there, it was a decent rate going into Jackson, Mississippi, but that's been like freaking 2023. So I don't know if he's still there. You know what I mean? He was like a salesman for the lumber, to sell, to move. He wasn't a broker, but he was like, you know what I mean, some kind of salesman that's almost. I think he was direct with them. You know what I mean, with the lumber place themselves. So he was probably organizing the movement of some of the freight. Some of the lumber. So, but it wasn't like I never even contacted him again because he wasn't really all that great. So also, if you head on over into Seattle area, sometimes there are some military loads coming out of there. You just keep that in mind. Going to, I don't know if they're going to training. Let me see. I don't think they're going training this time of the year. Maybe they're going to NTC. If they're going to NTC, you know what I mean, that unit over there in I can't remember the name of that base, but they'll be looking for trucks over there. So Citizen Transport is trucking company. Sometimes they give me free. They got a load out of freight in that area. Oh, freight. Okay. They give me freight. Okay. Yeah. Keep it. When you're doing your search, like on truck stop, what you call it, search out a little bit further. You could try to cover Seattle. Sometimes there's some military freight coming out of there going south, man, and it usually pays pretty decent. So. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and end the live here. I just want to hop in here and say I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I do appreciate people. You know what I mean? We're getting a lot of traction on the channel, and I love that. Because I want people to see how I see things. And I think I can most of you on here, I can pretty much tell that you probably agree with a lot of the things that I do, and I hate that because. Now I'm only attracting, people that are thinking, that are like minds, right? Like thinking the same way, and I wish we can get the other people, you know what I mean, for, you know, maybe they'll look at it differently, you know. Let's see. Voice to text sucks. You probably driving right now. Hey man, pay attention to the road. But anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and end this vlog here. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. But like I said, it's gonna be a few days before I can come out with a long form video, and I'm gonna try to put. It's been a chaos, man. It's been a good chaos this week though, but it's been a chaos. The first load that I dropped off, it dropped off in the middle of nowhere, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was a little scared. In the middle of Idaho, a whole bunch of snow everywhere. So anyway, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and end the vlog here, and we'll see you guys in the next video, man. Thank you.